Hey there, movie fans. Welcome to the Blues of March 2022. Of course, I'm going to show you the movies that I've purchased over the month of March. And I'd like to begin with this cult classic, Blood for Dracula. The companion piece of Flesh for Frankenstein that was recently released by Vinegar Syndrome. And this is put out by Severin. And it is a wonderful addition. And the movie itself is absolutely entertaining. And the ending is great as well. I thought it was hilarious. You know, I don't know if it was intended to be that way, but at least I thought it was very funny. But yeah, let's take a look at this very nice release with these very nice artwork there. You got the bonus material. There's a little card with the index of the soundtrack CD that is part of this set as well. Music composed, orchestrated and conducted by Claudio Gysi. And here are the disc. So you got the Ultra HD Blu-ray, the regular Blu-ray, and the CD soundtrack. Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. Blood for Dracula. I picked up God's Gun, aka Diamante Lobo, Diamond Wolf, with Lee Van Cleef and Jack Palance. Yeah, it was okay. You know, of all the westerns that Van Cleef made, this is my least favorite one. Came out in 1976, nearing the end of the spaghetti western era, and Richard Boone is also in it, who apparently was so unsatisfied with the way things were going that he walked off the set before the film was completed. Hence the reason why he was dubbed by another actor. And as you can see, it was produced by Yoram Globus and Menachem Golan. And it was, before they took over the Canon Group. But speaking of which, I also got Delta Force 2. Yeah, you cannot go wrong with some good old-fashioned Chuck Norris action, can you now? It doesn't recapture the fun of the first one, but it's a decent sequel. And here's the legendary Billy Drago as the villain. It also stars John P. Ryan, a great character actor who's not a stranger in the canon territory. He was also in Runaway Train, Avenging Force, Death Wish 4, and during the production of Delta Force 2, Ryan was injured in a helicopter accident. Most of the people on board, including the pilot, were sadly killed, but Ryan was one of the lucky few who survived the crash. But there is a Delta Force 3 without Chuck, but with his son Mike Norris. But I'm not interested in that one. Here is the standard 4K edition of Profundorosso, or Deep Red. I didn't get the limited edition because I already have the previous limited edition, which pretty much contains the same stuff, booklet, poster, lobby cards, and all that. But I now have 3 different releases of this movie. This one, the aforementioned limited edition, and the very first Blu-ray edition from Arrow, with the window slipcase. That came out, 10, 11, 12 years ago, something like that. But the 4K transfer looks stunning, absolutely stunning. DVDBeaver.com did a comparison between the 4K Blue and the other, the regular Blu-ray, and I'll put the link below to that comparison page so you can check it out for yourself. And also from Arrow is this notorious video nasty, Don't Go in the House. It's about a sick individual named Donnie. Hey, word of advice, never ever trust guys named Donnie. Don't do it. But he likes to kill his victims with a flamethrower in a metal chamber. Now if that doesn't sound like great fun for the entire family, then I don't know what does. But anyway, this is the Arrow store exclusive edition, which is now sold out and goes for crazy money. And the design of this slipcase is based on the original 1982 UK VHS sleeve from Arcade Video. Severin has their own version with the same slip, but it misses the third disc that is on this release. And yeah, they did a great job. Arrow truly did a great job. Here's the other artwork, by the way. A booklet. So you got the first disc with the theatrical cut, the second one with the extended cut, and this is the nasty bonus disc. So you have three different editions, or three different cuts of the film. You know, the theatrical cut, the extended cut, and also the television cut. And disc 3 has the theatrical cut in different formats. Widescreen, expose, open matte, video mode. Watch the film with a recreation of an opening cinema program from the early 1980s. Textless title sequence, VSS mode. I mean, this is absolutely great. Absolutely great. I mean, Arrow really knocked it out of the park with this release. It doesn't get any more complete than this. Yeah, very, very nice. Very nicely done by Arrow Video. Next is A Time for Dying. Not only is this Bud Bedeker's final western, but also Audie Murphy's final movie. He produced it and makes a cameo appearance as Jesse James. And at the time, Audie Murphy had a serious gambling debt. He owed people lots of money, including the Las Vegas Mafia, and we all know that he was, you know, tragically killed in a plane crash in 1971, and some believe that it was sabotaged. You know, Bedeker himself believed that the Mafia was behind it. But anyway, Murphy wanted to do this movie to make some money, and he asked Bedeker for his help. You know, they were friends ever since they made the Cimarron Kid together in 1952. At one point in his life, Bedeker has some problems of his own, and Murphy helped him out, so he basically returned the favor. And this is not your typical Western. It's a bit of a weird and very unconventional Western. It's so unconventional that some Western fans might be put off by it. You know, it's certainly a lot different than what we're used to from both Murphy and Bedeker. And if you search this title on IMDb and check out the reviews, you'll see that the majority is very negative. Some even gave it 1 out of 10. So it's clearly not for everyone. It's something that people weren't expecting. It's something that I was not expecting. And yet, I ended up liking it a lot. I would even go so far to call it a misunderstood little masterpiece. I really would. There's an interview with filmmaker and novelist Christopher Pattee on the Blu-ray, where he discusses his fascination with A Time for Dying, and he talks about the dialogue and how it reminds him of a Bob Dylan song. I thought that was very interesting. And he also said that Audie Murphy gives his finest performance in this film, even though he's only in it for 5 minutes or something like that. And speaking of the performances, I thought the two leads, played by Richard Lapp and Anne Randall, were fine, absolutely fine, but they're easily surpassed by 3 other actors. Audie Murphy, Bob Random, who plays a notorious outlaw with a maniacal laughter, and Victor Jury as Judge Roy Bean, who pretty much steals the show, in my opinion. Wonderful cinematography by Lucien Ballard, who also stood behind the camera of such westerns as The Wild Bunch, Will Penny, Nevada Smith, Hour of the Gun, True Grit, The Sons of Katie Elder. He frequently worked with Sam Peckinpah, by the way. And I'm not going to show the booklet because it contains spoilers, especially about the surprising ending, which I should have seen coming, by the way. But would I recommend it? Yes, I would. But keep in mind, it's not for everyone. Next is McBain by James Grindhouse, a solid action movie with a solid cast. Christopher Walken, Maria Conchita Alonso, Michael Ironside, Steve James, and I confused this movie once with The Dogs of War, and there's a good reason for that, because they're very similar. They both star Christopher Walken, and in both movies he plays the leader of a group of mercenaries who wants to overthrow a dictator. My good buddy Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse did an excellent review of this film. You'll find the link below, and subscribe to him. Subscribe to his channel if you haven't done that yet. He recently received 1,000 subscribers. Again, congratulations on that, sir. Here's to the next 1,000. And McBain. One of the working titles was McBain's 7, a nod to Seven Samurai or The Magnificent Seven, and I kind of preferred that. I mean, it's not only about McBain, it's also about his team. Moving on to The Greatest Show on Earth. Now this is pure entertainment from one of the masters of grand scale filmmaking, Cecil B. DeMille. I was never a fan of the circus, to be honest. I remember very well that when I was a kid, I must have been 9 years old, my mom gave me 2 choices. Or we go to the circus, which was in town at the time, or we go to the movies. And obviously, I chose the movies. We went to see Masters of the Universe, for those who wanted to know, with Dolph Lundgren and He-Man. It might also have something to do with the fact that I was a big He-Man fan. But I was never really a circus person. But I do love the circus world that DeMille created in this film. I love the spectacle of it and the epicness. It's almost as if you want to be part of it. And here is the digital download code of The Greatest Show on Earth for the one who is interested. And by the way, this is one of Steven Spielberg's all-time favorite movies. In fact, it's the first movie he has ever seen. He was 6 years old when he saw it, and it blew him away. And it even inspired him to make his first amateur film called The Last Train Wreck, where he recreated perhaps the most famous scene from the movie, the train wreck scene. And he used his Lionel toy train set. He kind of crashed them into each other and shot that with his 8mm camera. But yeah, it's a wonderful film. Absolutely a wonderful film. The greatest show on earth. And last but not least, I purchased this gorgeous German steelbook of Wedlock, a highly underrated sci-fi action thriller with the late great Rutger Hauer as a thief who gets betrayed and ends up in a experimental prison where he have to wear these collar with an explosive device inside, which is connected to another convict, and if he escapes or he gets separated from the other convict by more than 100 yards, it blows up. And this concept, of the explosive color was first introduced, as far as I know anyway, in The Running Man, the classic Schwarzenegger movie. And later it was used in Battle Royale and Suicide Squad. But yeah, this movie is great fun. Absolutely great fun. And the steelbook is a beauty. I mean, I really like the artwork on it. There's a picture on the inside there. There's Hauer. Danny Trejo is also in it. Mimi Rogers. Yeah. Very nice. Very, very nice. And here is a look at the J card. There is some extras on it, including a 50-minute interview with the director Louis Teague, who was also responsible for Cujo, Alligator, Cat's Eye, Jewel of the Nile. And interestingly enough, it was produced by Branko Lustig. And he was a Croatian Holocaust survivor who is best known as the producer of Schindler's List. And he also worked with Ridley Scott several times on Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, American Gangster, Kingdom of Heaven, and some others. But yeah, wonderful release. Absolutely a wonderful release of Wedlock. A very underrated movie here. And that is it for my March update of 2022. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.